Okay, we're live. We are live. Happy 2021, people. I know you're excited to get 21 started, and I'm guessing most of you, if you're on here, you've probably already got it rolling pretty good, right? So let's talk about it a little bit. We're going to do lives like we haven't done these for a while, right? For the A-listers. And remember why we created the A-listers group. It was for the book. There's no plan B for your A game. And guess what? We just had a pub date. What was it, last week, maybe 10 days ago, of the paperback. And there's the paperback right there. There's no plan B for your A game. And you guys are A-listers. So if you guys need copies, go to boeasonbook.com. No time has that book been more valuable than now, right? It's like the field manual for what we've been through 2020 and what we're leading into in 2021. So make sure your team has those. Make sure your family has those. It's a more affordable price, obviously, because it's a paperback. So we're excited that came out. Go to boeasonbook.com if you guys need copies. Let's get going. Let's get going. And, we're going to do these bi-weekly, right? So we're going to do these every other week, lives. And here's what I want you to do is make sure you're getting our emails, right? So you know the schedule. Because some weeks, we might have to push it to a next week. It just depends on, like, if I'm doing a speech or doing a 3-day event. So that's how we'll do it. So stay in touch that way, and we'll do it. Okay. And we're going to follow it the same format that we did all of last year, right? So last year, if you remember, and some of you are new, we do some training on a topic, right, for a few minutes, and then we go to Q&A. So make sure if you have a question, make sure you have that ready. And Dawn is waiting in the chat there. So put those questions in the chat, and I'll try to answer as many of those as I possibly can, and Dawn will help me out with that. And then we'll get to your marching orders. Okay, so we'll leave you with some marching orders so you know what to do for the rest of the weeks or the next 2 weeks, as it were, whenever we have this scheduled next. So let's get started, you guys. This is how I think about New Year's, right? I don't think of it like resolutions. I don't think of it like goals necessarily. I think about what I'm building. What's Bo building? Okay. And that's how I want you to start thinking about 2021, right? Let me read you a quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. I have used this quote in trainings, like all-day trainings. I've used it so many times in my life because it's really accurate on what it takes and what it's like to build your dreams, right? And that's what you and me are going to do this year. So here's the quote. Listen to this. I could never quite find the car that I dreamed of. So I decided to build it myself. That's the quote. Write this down, you guys. I could never quite find the car that I dreamed of. So I decided to build it myself. You guys know who said that? Some of you probably do. That's Dr. Ferry Porsche, right? And obviously, given his last name, you know what car he built. Now, I just think it's so, I think the reason it's such a cool quote is we all know Porsche, right? We all know the name. We all know the car. We've, either dreamed about having that car or do have that car, or it's a dream car, right? It was Dr. Ferry Porsche's dream, right? So his dream, he had this dream that he kept having, no different than yours and my dreams. And he was hoping, based on this quote, that somebody would build this dream car for him. It sounds like, right? I could never quite find the car that I dreamed of. So I decided to build it myself. So he had this dream, he had this vision the same kind of vision, the same kind of dream that you and I have. And then you look around in the culture and in society and in the world, and you see that that thing, that car in his case, was not being manufactured. It wasn't being built for him. So I'm guessing he was frustrated by that. I'm guessing he was like left at a loss for that. Like, how could this be? How could no one build my dream? How could no one see what I see and just build this car, which we could call a Porsche, right? That's like sleek and red and fast and sporty and sexy. Why is nobody building this car? And I'm guessing he got fed up enough with that feeling that he said he threw his hands in the air like you and I are going to do and say, I guess nobody's coming to build this thing for me. Since it's my dream, I guess I'm the only one who can build it. And that's how I want you to start looking at your dream. Okay? I've done this several times in my life, which is why this quote speaks to me so clearly. When I was a kid, a lot of you know, I wanted to be the best safety in the NFL, right? That's a position, safety in football, right? I wanted to be the best guy at that. And as a kid and as a teenager and as a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, I just, for years, I kept watching pro football, college football, and I could never quite find the safety that would play it the way I thought the position should be played. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? I would watch games. I was a kid. These guys were my heroes, right? But I would go, oh, I wish he would play the position a little more like this or a little more like that. And I was never quite satisfied with the way the position was played and thought about. So what did I do, you guys? I decided to build it myself, no different than Dr. Ferry Porsche. I built the position over years as a kid to play it exactly how I thought the position should be played. The vision and the dream that I had for the position of safety, I built and then played it that way. But no one else was going to play it the way I saw it, were they? And I was going to be frustrated my whole life. But I had a choice right there, right? I could have been frustrated and thrown my hands up and said, hey, I quit. No one's going to play this safety the way I dream of. No one's going to deliver my dreams for me. Darn it. Now I'm victimized by my own dreams. But I didn't do that, right? I didn't become victimized by my own vision. I built it myself because no one else apparently was going to do that. Then after I got done playing football, right, I have this another strong vision, another frustration in the world. I love theater, right? I love live theater. I love going to plays. Off Broadway, on Broadway, off Broadway. I love going to theatrical productions. It was magical to me as a kid, and as I grew up, I've always loved it, right? But there was never a play that I saw that I was completely satisfied with. I always said, oh, shit. No one has ever written a play for me, for what I want to see in a theatrical production. No one's ever quite achieved that for me, right? Same thing as playing safety. Same thing Dr. Ferry Porsche went, no one was going to build his dream. He had to go do it himself. So you guys, I don't know how to write. I've never been a playwright. I don't even know how to spell. I didn't own a computer. And I said, I'm going to write a play that I want to see. I'm going to write a play for me, for my eyes, so that I could go and watch this play. No one was going to write that play for me, were they? because they don't know what's going on, and they don't know my vision. They don't know my dream. They don't know what makes me, makes me tick. So I got frustrated enough that I sat down with no writing experience and wrote a play. Now, the play became a big hit. It went on a 50-city tour. It had 2 runs in New York. It got bought as a movie only because I built a play that I wanted to see. Because all of my years growing up, I was happy with the plays, but not completely satisfied. Like, I wish they said this, or I wish the character did that. So I did it myself. I'm not going to be victimized by my own desires, by my own dreams, and by my own visions that I have. Okay. And then the same thing happened, if you go to the movies or you read books like I do. You go to movies, you read books, you see that the movie's not quite made for you, or it's not quite made for me. So you have to build that movie yourself. You have to go out and write it yourself. You have to produce it yourself. Same thing with a book. I love books, right? Never written a book, don't know how to write a book, right? But got frustrated enough to say, you know what? I want to write a book about what I want to see, what I believe, my vision of the world, right? So I had to build it and write it myself. Do you see what this does to you as a person? This building of your own dream? You really have to remember that no one's coming for you. Right? No one's coming to build your dream for you. You have to build that. And just think of the visions and the dreams that you could build. Like, what about a marriage? What about a relationship? Is that something you could build? Sure. That way you're not victimized by having a bad relationship. You're not victimized by having a bad marriage. You're building the thing. You got your hands on the marriage. You have your hands on the relationship, and you're building that. And then, of course, if you're in a marriage or a relationship, you're building that with the one you're married to, right? Then it becomes a co-creation, right? Which is very cool too, right? So that ends up how your life is. Because if you look at the world, right, the biggest problem I think that the world has is they're not loyal to their own visions. They're not loyal to their own dreams. They're loyal to other people's dreams and other industries' dreams, right? So good example of that is like me going to theater all my life and leaving the theater and complaining that that play just didn't satisfy me. I'm just not happy with that play. It was close to being good, but it was okay. So I can either be victimized like that and complain and whine to everybody, which is what our world does, or I can decide to write the play I want to see myself, and book, and marriage, and career, and parenting. All of that is me and you taking hold of our visions and actually putting, rolling up our sleeves and building the thing, because nobody else is coming, guys. Nobody else is coming because they don't know your vision, right? They don't exactly know it. You might tell them, but they still can't. It's hard for them to see it until you start building it. This is what I want you to do. So I'll give you a sneak peek of the marching orders that are coming later. So think of the Dr. Ferry Porsche, the one that you wrote down. Look at that sentence. The sentence says, I could never quite find the car that I dreamed of, so I decided to build it myself. So in the marching orders, I'm going to give you that assignment where you replace the word car in the quote, replace that word car with what you're building. So for me, it was safety. Secondly, it was a play. Thirdly, it was a career of speaking. Fourthly, it was the book. Right? It's my marriage. It's the raising of my kids, what I see in them. I build this thing so I don't have to be victimized by my own visions. I don't have to be let down by the world, because the world's not committed to making my dreams come true. I am. You are. Okay, so we're going to replace that word car with the thing that you're building. And what's cool about building your own dreams, what I have found out, what I've learned over 50 years of doing this is if these hands are the one building it, I know that dream's going to come into existence. If these are the hands that are on the car or on the play or on the position of safety, I know that that vision's going to come into existence, right? Because I'm the one pulling the strings. If I have to rely on our society for my dreams to come true, I'm going to be victimized, right? That's our world. Complaining, whining, the world's not serving me. I'm not being taken care of. I don't have the dream job. I don't have a dream marriage. I don't have a dream car, Porsche. I don't have it. Why don't I have it? Because you haven't built it. You haven't built it, but now, your fingerprints are all over your own dreams. And then watch what happens to your life. These things start to come into existence much quicker than you think, right? And it's just a lot more fun. That's how I'm thinking. That's how I've always thought. Every year that I've ever done this, starting in 1969, but here in 2021, especially double down, because the world, the culture, so distracted, right? We're just distracted by everything, and they're so loyal, us people. We're so loyal to other people's dreams instead of our own. So, whoever created, video games, that was their dream, right? So you're playing video games all day. You're fulfilling their dreams, not yours. You're being loyal to their dreams, not yours. Got it? Right. So if you're sitting in front of, some kind of programming, some kind of social media or broadcast media, you're actually fulfilling and staying loyal to the creators, the industries that created those platforms. You're loyal to their dreams. You're making their dreams come true. Why? Because you're sitting in front of them. And 2021 is a time to create your own reality, to build your own dream with your own hands and your own team, right? This is what we're doing. This is how we're starting, okay? Think about it in this way, guys. I'll give you this one tip and then I'll open it up for questions. This is a great, it's kind of a tip, but it's great. It really solidifies this thing. So take a pulse of the world you live in, right? Like drive around or walk around, right? And what are you constantly bitching about? What are you like upset with? Like it's not quite satisfying you. Is it, God, I wish I had a great relationship coach. Damn it, that would be valuable to me because then I would know how to build a relationship. So when you get a frustration like that, or God, I wish I could fly here and there at this kind of way, safe. If that's a frustration to you, build it. If you're not getting the coaching that you would like, build your coaching system. You do it. You build the coaching system. You know what I mean? If there's a lot, other people are frustrated by it too. Oh, I can't find a good coach for this, or I can't find a good person for that, or I can't fly freely to where I want to fly to, or I don't live on an island. Whatever the frustration you have, whatever you're all constantly like, damn it, you're constantly being a malcontent. You go take that thing on and you build it yourself. No more bitching, no more whining, no more blaming the world for not serving your dream. You take control of it. It's so much more fun to be in control of your dreams because guess what? They get to come true. if I'm in control of things, like you get mad at like government, or you get mad at like your governor, or you get mad at some city official, like the garbage should be picked up. Fix that shit. Become that thing. Fix it. Don't like go, oh, the governor's an idiot. The governor did this, or they're not picking up the trash. Like, build it yourself. You know what I mean? If that's something that frustrates you, go build it yourself. This is what I do in every dream that I've ever had. Whether it's being a coach or being a speaker, like I always saw speakers. Like oh, he's a cool speaker. She's really an impactful speaker, but they're never quite satisfying me. Not like they're not physical enough, or they're not speaking my language enough, or they're not speaking specifically to me enough. So what did I do? I built the speaker that I would like to be around in my own body, you guys. You understand? This is what we're going to do in 2021, and we're going to keep doing it forevermore. But the bad news of building your own dreams, I'm sure the bad news for Dr. Ferry Porsche, when he decided he had to build a Porsche, the first one, I'm sure it was frustrating. I'm sure he's like, damn, this is a lot of work. Shoot, but it is my vision. But it did turn out exactly these Porsches for how many years, Because I built the first one, and then, probably hired the team to build the next one, and on it went. That's what I want you to do. I want you to take control of your life. Okay, here we go. Let's open it up. Let's open it up for some questions. Sweetheart, Dawn's coming out. I can hear her coming.
Coming out for questions.
Do we have some questions?
Yes, we do. So here's one. How do I know if my vision is good enough?
Okay. All visions, if it's a vision, right, usually good enough. It's coming from some pure, true place inside of you, probably a great vision, right? But you know what? It doesn't matter if it's a bad vision or if it's good enough vision. Doesn't matter, because if it's a bad vision, if it's not the vision that you want to build, you still have to commit to it, and then it will reveal itself to you that it's not the vision. The new vision will then reveal itself. You got me? So these are living, breathing dreams. They're not like set in stone. They evolve, right? They like the Declaration of Independence that was written 250 years ago, right? But it's been adapted. Some things move around a little bit as it grows over the years, right? Same thing with your vision, right? Your vision shift around. But here's what I want to make sure to clear up for you and for everybody thinking, oh, I'm just not clear on my vision. And you guys, that's the death of all vision, the clarity piece. It's because people don't want to decide what the vision is. They want to be kind of indecisive. They want to be kind of vague in their dreams. Therefore, they can't be held to account. If your dreams are specific, like this is why I love the book, and this is why I wrote the book, because here's how you know if your vision sucks. If it's vague, like you don't even know if your vision's coming true or not, right? Let me give you some examples of my visions and my dreams in my life. They all have the word the best in them, and that upsets people and that offends other people. Oh, Bo, who do you think you are? You're trying to be the best. Well, the reason I use the term the best, after 50 years of doing it, as I look back, the reason I use a term like the best is there's no denying how specific that is. If you use the term the best, or you use the term, I'm going to win the gold medal. If you use terms like that, you know where you stand. There's nothing vague about a gold medal. Does gold medal mean silver medal? Does gold medal mean bronze medal? No. You said gold. That's specific. You can be held to account. That's what your brain and your body is working toward, gold, not silver. This is why in the Olympics, every kid that ever dreamed of going to the Olympics never dreamed of winning a silver medal. They never dreamed of winning a bronze medal. They dreamed of a gold, which is why they're pissed off when they have a silver and a bronze. Okay, I'm not trying to be harsh here, but that's the reality of the situation. It's specific. I want to be the best safety. I want to be the best playwright. I want to be the best speaker. I want to be the best author. Okay? You know where you stand when you're not the best. It's pretty clear. And so you have more work to do to fulfill on that dream. Okay? I like my life simple. I like to make those decisions like that. So your dream better be big, much bigger than you're thinking. It better not be casual. It better not be like second place, third place, 188th place, because your body doesn't know how to do that. Your body doesn't know how to achieve that kind of mediocrity. It doesn't. It knows how to achieve greatness. That's why you survived this long. That's why your ancestors got you here, right? That's how we're made. Our DNA is made to be the best. Otherwise, your species is dead. It's not here anymore. It's extinct. Okay, cool. Okay, sweetie, got another one?
I've got one from Patricia that says, how do you decide what the first step is? From Patricia.
I look around and I go, what am I constantly bitching about?
Can you repeat the question too? I don't know if they can hear me.
What's that?
Just repeat the question too. I'm not sure if they can all hear me because I'm not mic'd up. So how do you decide what the first step is?
How do you decide what the first step is? This is from Patricia. So I mentioned it earlier. What are you, Patricia, what are you frustrated with? What do you look around the world and go, oh, shoot, I could do that better, or that should be better, or this, I dream of this, or I dream of that, or I have a vision of raising a kid like this, or getting married to a person like that, or building a business like this, right? That's how you do it. Then you get to work on that thing, right? That's the first step. It's like, I'm always, I know I want to be the best safety, and I'm not quite satisfied with the way the position's being played. So I build it myself. I play it myself. I love going to theater, not satisfied with what I'm seeing. Kind of happy, kind of not. I think I can do better. So I build it myself. So look at the world like that. You ever go to the movies? You go, shit, I wish that movie was better. Then you make the movie. You make the movie. Don't sit around waiting for other people to make it. You make it. It's your vision. And you can do that with every aspect of your life, from parenting to running a business. Okay? Okay, good. What else, babe?
Yeah, you know what? Someone on Instagram asked what your daily routine was. Like, if you can share a little bit about your daily routine.
Yeah, daily routine. A lot of people, somebody on Instagram asked this. They ask about my daily routine, and there's certain things that I get in that I do, right? Most people always talk about morning routines, which are crucial, right? Because if you can start good, you're probably going to finish good. So starting is always, that morning routine is crucial. But to set up my morning, you guys, I got to go to the evening. Isn't it funny? It's like you want to have a great morning, right? But you got to do some hygiene in the evening. You got to get a good night's sleep, right? You got to get off your electronics. You got to recover. Right? You got to wake up at a certain time. So that all has to do with what you ate the night before, what you did the night before. Did you drink? All that kind of stuff. So I've really, really been practicing the hygiene of getting great sleep, great recovery, right? So that my mind is clear, like some meditation, some things that set up my sleep. Then I wake up at a certain hour, which is usually between 5 and 6, right, in the morning. So, and then I go downstairs and I, turn the coffee on and I eat a certain thing, right? Thing that gets me started. And I write in my book and I do a breathing technique, I do a meditation, I do a moving meditation. And I have my book sitting right in front of me. And I'm always writing down like my sleep score, how did I do in sleep, what's my intent for the day, what I want to build this day, what I'm not going to consume this day. That's crucial. It's not so important what you will do. What is important is what you won't do. And people, and answer it like this: what won't you consume? Is it the news media? Is it that donut? Is it negative dream buster type people? Is it whatever it is? You have to eliminate these things because and you'll know if you've read the book that, look, being the best in the world at something, being the best in the world, which means your dreams come true. That's by process of elimination. Most, I think, teachers and coaches want you to do a big laundry list of things to be the best in the world or to be world class. I don't do that. I eliminate things. So it's really important what you won't consume. Think about that. What you won't consume. Because if you're consuming something, you are that thing. Whether that's food, whether that's social media, broadcast media, you are those things, right? You turn into those things. I consume the things that I build, the desires that I have, the dreams and the visions that I have. That's what I'm loyal to. Okay. So that I can have a life of, I don't know if it's happiness, but it's satisfaction. And it's kind of a weird satisfaction, like, wow, like, man, I'm really building this thing. This is on me. I'm responsible for my own life. And that's what I've taught my kids. That's what I teach my clients. And that's what I'd like you guys to do too.
Yeah, we have another great question on Instagram that James asked. He said, what's the key to exciting others in assisting you with building your dreams? Yeah.
Well, everybody, James, is it James?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
James, hey, James, that's a great question. And here's the beauty of having a dream. Like when we were kids, you and me, we all had dreams, right? All of us had dreams and we told people our dreams. Like you walked up to your mom and dad when you were 7, you go, I'm going to be a firefighter. I'm going to be a gold medalist. I'm going to be the center fielder for the Yankees. I'm going to be the best playwright in the world. I'm going to be a pop star like, Britney Spears or whoever's a pop star. That was kind of dated, wasn't it? That's what we did. And when a kid tells you their dreams, what do you do as an adult? What do you do as a human being? You get to work on their dreams. You start making their dreams come true. You'll give them money. You'll give them food. You'll give them encouragement. You'll hire a coach for them. You'll do everything you can so that kid can fulfill on that gold medal, right? But then we become adults and our heart has been broken so many times because we're not loyal to our dreams. So we've let ourselves down. So now we don't even dream anymore, right? We just stop. And we're certainly, if we do have an inclination, like a little vision that comes up for us, like, man, you know what? I'd like to write a book. But no, I can't tell anybody that. That's embarrassing. That I'm not an author. What am I going to do? You write the friggin' book and you tell people, hey, guess what? I've always had this dream of writing a book or writing a play or creating a movie or creating a movement or building a speaking career or having a marriage. I'm going to build this dream and I need some help. Can you help me? And what is every single person you run into? What are they going to say? They're going to say yes. They're going to say, hell yeah. If that's your vision, if that's your dream, I got some money, or I got some nutrition, or I can help you with this, or I can help you with that, or I know a guy or a girl who can help you with this. Everybody loves dreams. No one has them anymore. And they certainly don't tell other people. But if you did, like I do, like my kids do, like my team does, my clients do, then the whole world starts building your dream for you. Now you got to be a great storyteller, and you have to tell the story of that dream, James, right? Which is kind of up my alley, right? I'm good at that. I'm good at letting people know the dream that I have and the story behind that dream. And can they help me build it? And what do? They get to work on my dream. They love to build your dream with you. Everybody does. So you got to tell them. Okay. Thanks, James.
We have a question here from Bruno.
Bruno. What's up, Bruno? Is he on Facebook
on
or?
Instagram, on Facebook. He's on Facebook.
Bruno, how are you, man?
He says, do you run multiple projects at once? And if you do, how do you keep advancing them each?
Yeah, you know what? As I'm in the middle of building the one dream, another one always comes up. It's just how it goes. And then I just start to water that plant a little bit, like the main one I'm still on, but there's always this piece over here, right? So I'll tell you exactly how this happened. So when I was writing the play, trying to make that dream come true of, being on Broadway and performing this play in front of, New York audiences, as I'm creating that dream, because it took several years, Bruno, as I'm building that dream, another dream pops up right behind it. Another one comes up and they say, you know what? Not only could this dream, Bo, this is how my dreams talk to me. Hey, Bo, hey, man, hey, that dream you're building of performing on Broadway and performing your play that you wrote? How about a movie? How about the movie of that play? And that popped up, and then how about maybe that leads to a speaking career where you speak. Maybe that leads to writing screenplays for other people, right? So, and all these things happened, right? Because they kind of just let one dream, if you focus on one dream, the next dream will reveal itself to you. Isn't that cool? You don't have to worry about it. It's going to come and it's going to bite you on the butt, and it's going to be right in your face. And it's going to say, hey, I'm next. How about a movie next? How about a speaking career next? How about a marriage over here? How about this? That'll keep coming. So you know how to do that. You just, it's like one of those guys in the circus who spins the plate. You ever seen that on a stick? Spins the plate, right? And then he spins another plate over here on this stick, right? And then another one over here, and then another one over here. And then the first plate starts to slow down and it's going to fall off the stick. So he goes back and gives it a little tweak. And then he has to give this one a little tweak. And he keeps 4 plates spinning all at one time by watering those plants, by taking care of those sticks, by taking care of those plates. You're going to do the same thing, because those dreams are now, and those visions are going to come at you because you're being creative and things are happening. Okay. All right, Bruno.
All right, there's another message and question here from Lars Classington. He says,
hey, Lars.
Love today's message, Bo. Working on building my own dream as an actor, comedian, creating my own roles, shows, and company. Laughing Vikings, always inspired by your drive and energy. Today's message was a great reminder of raising my A game. Who are your favorite personal coaches that you currently follow or work with one-on-one? In other words, who coaches Bo now that you aren't on the gridiron?
Yeah, well, I've always had great coaches on the gridiron for sure, 100%. And always looking for that next person that can take me to the next place, right? So when I did the play, I had a guy named Larry Moss and a guy named Jean-Louis Rodrigue, who I still, use to bounce things off of, right? So we worked together for many, many years, 17, 18 years. And then as I started to write a book, or I started to write screenplays, I, had Frank Darabont, who wrote Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. He helped me, mentor me, writing my first screenplay, which led to several screenplays, right? So I go after the best coaches there are out there, right? And now I know how to do it so well, but I'll usually go to somebody who's done it before, and they've done it at a level that I love. Like, damn, how did you do that? How did you write that? How did you see that? Can you help me with that? Right? And so I have surrounded myself with a team of people who believe that their birthright is to be the best in the world, is to be world class. And that team's called it's the best team. It's the best accelerated, right? And it's 45 people who are some of my favorite people on the planet, smartest people on the planet. And they're all have this ability to coach and to see things clearly and to help me. That group is what I use to get me to the next dream, which is to be world-class at a thing, right? So not only do I have one coach, I've got 45 people who I trust, not even more than trust. I know that they've got my back. I know that they're not going to let me spin out, right? They're not going to let me land face first. They're there to catch me, because there's a lot of failure when you're trying to be the best at something, right? So we're doing this as a team, but the team has a bunch of coaches, and some of them aren't, classically coaches, but they see the world in a certain way that's helpful to me. That's what I do now. Yeah.
We have another question here on Instagram. I think it's, what is it? Pupa, I'm not sure on the pronunciation, but it says, how do you get back on your path once you get off track?
Yeah. Well, that's just so you know, you're always going to be off course, so give yourself a break. Everybody gets so ashamed of being off course. Of course, we're going to be off course because that's the nature of the beast. Okay. So don't beat yourself up for say your dream is to be the fittest 60-year-old on the planet. Like, I'm going to be the fittest 60-year-old, right? And then first day of that dream, you're building it, and then you eat a chocolate cake. Now, is the dream over? No, the dream's not over. The dream just began, right? You're off course, but right when you eat the chocolate cake, you realize you're off course. So all you have to do is take the damn thing out of your mouth, okay, and get back on the horse. This is where everybody fails. Everybody fails because they don't get back on the horse. They quit. They're so ashamed that they quit forever. So you guys, on my way to attempting to be the best safety in the world, I'm off course 99% of the time. So that took like many, many years, 17, 18, 19 years, right? I'm off course 99% of the time, but I end up at the top of the heap, at the end of the 20 years. Okay. So will you. So you just have to stay loyal. That would be like a marriage, like you marry somebody and you're in church and the preacher man says in front of God that you're going to marry this person till death do you part. And then you get in a fight on the honeymoon and you're like, this is bullshit. I don't want to be married anymore. And you're like, this is not how I thought it was going to be. And you quit, but you promised till death do you part in front of all your friends and your family and God. Okay. So did you quit the marriage right then? No, you didn't, did you? You worked it out, right, with your spouse, and you went to therapy or whatever the case, and you worked it out, and you're still married 35 years later because you keep working it out. You keep falling off the horse and you get back on the horse called marriage. That's how it works with your dreams too. Okay. So don't be so darn quick to quit at the first sign of, heartache, at the first sign that you eat a chocolate cake. Take it out of your mouth, get back on course. Everybody got me? There's no shame in that. Okay. What else, babe?
Yeah, we have one more from Lou, and it says, he says, Lou, he's one of your teammates.
Lou, what's up, Lou?
He's one of your coaches and one of your teammates.
It sure is.
So what processes do you put into place to make sure you don't bail when things get tough? Like, do you have an accountability partner, a corner man?
Yeah, I'm okay. Like, Lou, this is kind of funny. I'm okay with quitting as long as you know when the quitting's done. Like like my kids, I let them quit their dreams, but only for an hour, right? Like, yeah, you can quit. Like they'll throw their hands up. I quit. And I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, you should quit. You quit right now for, 15 minutes or an hour and just cry and just just wallow in your quitterness, if that's a word. But then after the hour, they kind of wipe the tears away and they kind of stand back up and they re-engage. Well, that's a relief. If you know you can quit for an hour, that's pretty cool. It's a good relief for you because this dream is going to take some time, right? It just is. So those are the processes that I always have in place, Lou. And I'm always can bail out of my dreams for a few minutes because I know I'm going to re-engage. It's just how it is, and you are too. And everybody on this call, they're going to too. The people that struggle the most, who have the most unhappy lives, I would imagine, are the ones that just quit at the first sign of anything going wrong. And they quit forever. Like they never re-engage. Here's an example. I went to a dance in 8th grade, right? And I walked over to the cutest girl in the school in 8th grade at the dance. And they were playing a slow song. And so I thought that was the right time. So I went over to ask the cutest girl that I saw in the 8th grade to dance. And she says no, right? So imagine the heartache for an 8th grader that is. Here's what most people do in that circumstance. They say, as they're walking back to their boys and everybody's laughing at them and throwing peanuts at them, "You idiot. She said no to you. You got rejected, man. Loser." Whatever they're saying. That's the worst moment in that kid's life, right? That's the worst moment of an 8th grader's life. Most of those 8th grade boys, right when that happened, say to themselves, that's never going to happen again. And I'm going to make sure that never happens again by never asking anybody to dance, or I'm not going to ask anybody, especially a cute girl, for a date. And so that person then ends up dating people and probably marrying people that they don't really want to date or marry. Or they don't ever get married, or they never date because it's just too much pain from that 8th grade year. That's our world, you guys. That's our world. Now, that's just the dating world. Right? Think of if you tried out for the choir and they said, your voice sucks, you're out of here. Think what happened to you then. Or if you tried out for a sports team and they say, you suck, you can't play, you're out of here. And those of you who quit forever, you have regrets. You have regrets for the rest of your life. And those of you who re-engaged after being rejected, you have a life of satisfaction. You have a life of dreams because you re-engaged instead of stopping forever. That's our world. That's the mechanism I use. I'm just like, I'm surrounded by people who just go, like, if I go to you, Lou, I know what you're going to say. If I go, Lou, shit, I just am not on my dream today. I'm like eating chocolate cake. I'm like drinking 3 beers. I just want to sit around and watch the ball game. I'm like, I've been doing this for a week. What are you going to say to me, Lou? Well, knowing you, Lou, you're like, oh, that's cool, Bo. You're good. You're good. Just re-engage, man. Just put the beer down. You know how to do that. You know, put the chocolate cake down. Let's get you up off the sofa and get you back loyal to the dream. And I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah. So that would be accountability. I got people surrounding me who know my dreams, who won't let me fail. Right. So that is constantly in there for me. And that should be true of everybody. Right. You should. And, you know, we do this. Lou knows this, but I'll tell the rest of you. So we have this one exercise that we do on the team, on our best accelerated team, which is the highest level of my mastermind, by the way. People have worked with me for years that are on that team. This one exercise that we do on there is we have somebody on speed dial. So say I'm trying to make $1 million. That's my dream. That's my goal for this year, right? And every time I'm off course, I can speed dial. I can speed dial my person who has freedom and permission in the $1 million range. Like they have a lot of oxygen when it comes to $1 million. They've made $1 million. They've lost $1 million. They've invested $1 million. Somebody with that kind of freedom I want on speed dial, because I have a lot of issues around making $1 million. Like that's not okay in my family, or that's frowned upon, or now I'm going to enter the 1% and everyone's going to attack me, right? So I put that person who has freedom in these different places, like Lou, for example. His freedom for me is in the health and the energy world, right? So he knows how to optimize the health. He knows how to optimize my breath work. He knows how to optimize this body so that it fires on all cylinders with my energy. So Lou, who just asked this question, is on speed dial for me when it comes to that world. Now, when I'm talking about a money world, I use a couple other people that have built these multi-million-dollar companies, and it seems to be kind of easy looking, you know, from the outside, and it seems to be kind of normal. So I have them on speed dial as far as me trying to make $1 million or whatever it is. That's what I do. And there's all kinds of people out there that are available to you that you just don't know are available to you. So, for example, if I want to be the fastest man in the world, right? Guess who I'm having on speed dial? Guess. Either the fastest man in the world or the person who trained the fastest man in the world to be the fastest man in the world. That's who I'm going to have around me, because I'm going to have noise. I'm going to have issues. I'm going to fall off the horse over and over and over again, 99% of the time. But I need that person on speed dial to right my ship, to get me back to where I want to be. And they do it easily. I'm like, I want to be, my dream is to be the fastest man in the world, but I just ate, like, you know, something that the fastest man in the world didn't eat. And they're like, okay, stop doing that. Get on the track and run fast today. Go. Now I'm back on my dream. So I have all those kind of touch points and all those kinds of accountability people for me in the specific situations, wealth, health, all those kind of things, whether it be maybe a marriage. That would be like a therapist or a marriage counselor, whoever that is. You have them on speed dial, like, man, I'm acting like an asshole to my spouse. What should I do? And they go, don't act like an asshole. I go, that's good coaching. Goodbye. And now I'm back in the marriage. I'm back in the dream, right? So I don't linger a lot in unknowns. I use people, and people are great, man. People are accessible and they're great. They see things clearly. Okay. Great questions, guys. Thank you for those. Let me give you your marching orders. You're going to review that quote. I could never quite find the dream. I could never quite find the car that I dreamed of. So I decided to build it myself. I want you to replace that word car with what you're building, right? Put it in the comments over the weeks. I'll be checking these out, right? Put that in. And then secondly, who can help you with that? Hey, just name a person, or just know that you have a person. Let me know in the comments. If you don't necessarily have to say the person's name, but you can say, I do have a person, somebody that can keep you, who's got your back, who loves your dream, who wants you to fulfill on your dream, who can either invest in you or help you with the game plan, or anything that you need to fulfill on this dream that you're building. Like, you're replacing that word car for the thing you're building. Who can help you with that? So it's a two-part. Number one, what are you going to replace the word car with? What do you build? Is it a play? Is it a speaking career? Is it a book? Is it a marriage? What is it? Name what that is, simply, okay? And then who, one person, who can help you build that sucker, right? It might be somebody you're not suspecting right now. It might be a stranger to you. Somebody who can help you fulfill on that dream, okay? That's your marching orders. Great job today. That's how you start a year. You start to take hold of this year with your mitts, with these hands and this brain, and you start to build it no different than Dr. Ferry Porsche built a car called Porsche, which is a dream car for thousands and thousands and thousands of people, right? He built it. It became their dream car. They got to fulfill their dreams by sitting in a Porsche and driving that sucker. Okay. That's cool. That's the life I want you to have. Okay. Especially here in 2021. So welcome back, A-listers. If you guys don't have the paperback, grab it. If your team doesn't have it, grab it. Make sure you're getting our email so you know when our next one is. We're going to do these bi-weekly. We're going to do these every other week. So stay in here with us, and we'll just build this dream out all the way through 2021 so you can fulfill on your birthright. Okay, guys, thank you. And great to see you. Bye, Instagram. We'll see you, Facebook. Great having you guys.